For the best of national, local, international news and sport, tune in to News Punch and Diamond 88.7 FM. News Punch, all about the news.
It's exactly 9 a.m. A very good morning to you and thank you for joining us in today's edition of the News Punch, reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin. This is where we bring you the trending stories across the globe. My name is Bisola Oduwole Suleiman, and here are the stories making the waves across the world. In Nigeria, the president-elect Bola Tinubu has congratulated Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke over his victory at the Supreme Court, urging him to quickly unite the state and settle down to work for the progress of the state. Tinubu said with the apex court in the land giving its verdict on the Osun governorship tussle, all must respect the judgment. Adegboyega Oyetola of the All Progressives Congress APC had gone to court to challenge the victory of Adeleke of the People's Democratic Party PDP, but while the tribunal sacked Adeleke, the appeal court and the Supreme Court affirmed the senator as the authentic winner of the July 16, 2022 poll. Still in Nigeria, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has followed up on the ongoing investigations of the special chicken flavor Indomie instant noodles, which the Malaysian and Taiwan governments have flagged as carcinogenic. The agency insists that the locally produced brands of the noodles do not include special chicken flavor, and its importation has remained banned for years, though many believe that some crooked individuals can still attempt to bring them into the country. The nation's drug and food regulator said it had been allowed to have responsibilities of safeguarding the health of the public. According to them, NAFDAC has been on the front burner in the exportation of regulated products and issuing quality certification of such regulated products. And on the foreign scene, a New York jury found Donald Trump liable for sexually abusing and defaming an American former magazine columnist, and ordered the ex-president to pay her $5 million in damages. The 9 jurors rejected Ejon Carroll's accusation of rape, but unanimously upheld her other complaints in the closely watched civil trial. Following less than 3 hours of deliberations, it marks the first time Trump has faced legal consequences over a string of sexual assault allegations dating back decades, and the former leader immediately rejected the verdict as a disgrace. And moving on to the world of sports, Super Eagles forward Moses Simon will play under a new coach at Nantes before the end of the season, following the sacking of Antoine Kombare. Nantes confirmed Kombare in a statement released on the club's website yesterday. Kombare is replaced by fellow Frenchman Pierre Aristotle, who is saddled with the task of saving the club from relegation. Nantes are in the relegation zone with 4 games left to play in the French top flight. The club are winless in their last 6 games, losing 4 and drawing 2. And that's all we have for you on this morning's edition of the News Punch. Coming up next is the Diamond Breakfast Show, where we bring you the analysis of some of the major stories making the rounds. To stay with us.
The major talking point in Nigeria are always on the lips of the citizens.
What's going on in this country? Look at smaller countries taking lead, and you call yourself giant of Africa. Yeah.
Nigeria don't spoil my business too much. Nigeria is too hard for us. I mean, I want to kill us. Father, not kill us for Nigeria. Oh, please, so help us beg them.
They should reduce their expenditure so that they can free enough money for social development.
I wish for a Nigeria where we elect a leader based on competency and not popularity.
On the Diamond Breakfast Show, we place the spotlight spotlight on the critical issues in the country.
Government that says they are broke can prioritize construction of an additional runway over education of the people.
How can the government, how can you hold Indomine? This is intolerable. It's provocative.
Now, you see, when you look at our democratic journey, we are yet to practice genuine democratic system in Nigeria.
Join us on Mondays to Friday on the DBS from 9 to 10 a.m. The Diamond Breakfast Show, amplifying the voice of the people.
From the studios of Diamond 88.7 FM in Lorry, this is the Diamond Breakfast Show.
It's exactly 6 minutes, gone past 9 a.m. You're still tuned in and listening to Diamond 88.7 FM. Lauren, you're welcome to the Diamond Breakfast Show. This is where we take a look at the analysis of some of the major stories making the rounds. We dissect the stories in the studio with our guest analyst, and then you, as analysts out there listening to us from the other end of the radio, also get to contribute and send in your reactions to whatever stories we're taking a look at this morning. My name is Bisola Oduwole Suleiman. I am your host on the Diamond Breakfast Show this morning. All right, the first story we'll be taking a look at is on the court ruling, the Supreme Court ruling yesterday. The Supreme Court yesterday set aside the appeal by Adegboyega Oyetola of the All Progressives Congress APC challenging the election of Ademola Adeleke of the People's Democratic Party PDP as the Osun State Governor. The Apex Court, in its judgment read by Justice Emmanuel Agim, also upheld the appeal court's judgment, which upheld the election of Adeleke as the state governor. The judgment was affirmed and adopted by the entire 5 members of the panel. According to all members of the panel, the appeal lacked merit. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) had declared Adeleke the winner of the poll, saying it scored 403,371 votes to sack Oyetola, who was the incumbent at the time, with 375,027 votes. However, Oyetola and his party had alleged irregularities in the polls and challenged Adeleke's victory at the tribunal. Immediately the judgment was made, Governor Ademola Adeleke, who dedicated his victory to God, assured the people that he came with a purpose to change many things that had gone wrong in the past. Let's listen to Governor Ademola Adeleke and we will be right back.
I describe this victory as victory, I dedicate it, to God Almighty and my people, of Osun, because they stood by me and they did everything to let them know that, to let me know that they love me and I love them back. And today has proven it today.
What should the people be expecting from you now that there's no more litigation against this?
Well, it's now to be focused. Even though there was little distraction, we were focused. You journalists can testify to our 100 days in office. I mean, you have seen it all. You went with me, you worked with me, you saw what we have done. And work is still going, despite the fact of little distraction. Now there's no distraction again. We have all our agenda, our 5-point agenda in the making. You just wait and see, because we can tell you our government It's grassroots. Our government is people's, government. They ain't seen nothing yet. We have a lot of goodies in stock for our lovely Oshu people.
What's your message to your opponents who contested this case with you?
Well, my message is that there's no winner, there's no vanquish. So everybody should come together now that everything is over now. Let's come together and work together and make Oshu great again. That's my message to them.
All right, that was Governor Ademola Adeleke of Osun State speaking there after the Supreme Court judgment that he is actually the winner of the election. Joining me in the studio to do the analysis this morning is Dr. Olaifa Adisheko Sunday. He's an educationist and a public affairs analyst. A very good morning to you, Doctor.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me again.
All right, it's good to have you in the studio this morning. Now, let's quickly take a look at this. Governor Ademola Adeleke, his election has been upheld by the Supreme Court. Now, from the president to the president-elect and to many politicians, political icons, the congratulations are not stopping yet. What does this victory of Governor Adeleke mean for democracy, for Adeleke, for the party, and for the people of Osun State?
Well, I'm not surprised that this is coming from the Supreme Court. I already envisaged that the pendulum will go to the side of Adeleke. He has a lot of things that are working for him. You remember that he has his brother as the first governor of that state.
Okay.
And then the fact that people are already getting tired of the policies of APC, especially under Oyetola, the extension of Bisola, and then the fact that the video has a role to play too because of the youth and the influence in social media and all that. And you will know this from the very election that they did in 2017 or 18. That election speaks so much that the differences between the gap, the vote between Adeleke and Oyetola in the first election was, very, little until when they now have a supplementary election and then Oyetola won. From that time, you will know that people are ready and willing to go back to the Adeleke family, especially with the promises that the PDP was actually offering. And again, by the last election, the result of the last election shows a very wide gap, not unlike that of the 2018. Showed a very wide gap between Adeleke and Oyetola. And when Oyetola was in court, and then the tribunal said there was overvoting and then all that, I was wondering if there's overvoting, then the rule says they should cancel the vote. But I think that has not been substantially, established, and that's why the appeal court and the Supreme Court is of the view that the election for Adeleke should stand. The jubilation by people in Osun State shows exactly that there's a true reflection of what they wanted. I will say this more because you see, anybody that will tamper with the basic need of people, you won't get their mind. These are civil, servants that have a lot of students and children, they have relatives and all that. One good thing about Adeleke is the first day in office, first 100 days in office, he was able to establish himself. He was able to at least get back to the people. What we call stomach infrastructure. He was able to get back to them, pay the salary, pay the backlog of areas of salary owned by the former government, and then that alone is reflected in the presidential election because people actually voted for. Imagine APC losing presidential election in Osun State. It means that people of Osun they already decided to leave APC party for PDP, and it's a glaring thing. So for the Osun State people, they feel that they are back to a place where they are comfortable, and then the victory for them is joy. You can see that in all the jubilations that we have reported by news in all their streets and everywhere. Right. And the dancing senator is always back into dancing mood too. Yeah.
All right. And now this election happened last year, and the post-election matters kick-started immediately. This is what many called a timely judgment. Now, looking at this, should this be a template for other electoral tribunal proceedings? What exactly? But let's quickly hold that thought. We need to go on a short timer so that you would be able to answer the question in good time. Don't forget we're live on Facebook at Diamond 887 FM. You can watch us live on YouTube as well, Diamond FM Ilori. You can send in your reactions via those platforms as well. Or send us messages via WhatsApp 091 3655 6864 091 080-3655-6864. WhatsApp or text messages. To stay with us, it is still the Diamond Breakfast Show. Don't go anywhere.
Colors, they add meaning to our lives. From birth and naming of a child.
May your life be rich and potent as the red palm oil.
Colors tell of the feelings in our hearts.
Aww.
Through rainbow-like roses or even bubbly emojis. Colors speak of our distinctive ancestry through the shade of our skin. Colors are in the bright garbs we wear to impress, or the deluxe coat we give our buildings.
Wow, this is so beautiful.
And with our proudly Nigerian deluxe paints now available in any color, express your world however you want it. Visit a Deluxe Color Center to get any color instantly.
Dulux, let's color.
From the studios of
All right, welcome back. You're still tuned in and listening to the Diamond Breakfast Show, reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM in Lorry. And right now, we're talking about Governor Oyetola's, Governor Adeleke, I beg your pardon, Governor Adeleke's victory at the Supreme Court, the jubilations here and there, and then the timely judgment. A lot of people have termed this as a timely judgment, and we're taking a look at this. We're trying to see if this should be a template for other electoral tribunal proceedings. And I still have my guest with me, Dr. Olaifa. Now, what do you think about this?
Well,
do you see it as a timely judgment,
well,
and is this a template for all?
Well, if you say if some people will see it as timely judgment, I would say, well, because from tribunal to supreme level, this is what will have taken a lot of other elections for like 2-3 years, and within 10 months, the judgment is done at the supreme level. It's timely, but we can be faster than this. The process is still there's still need for the process to get faster. But you see, an election where the judgment is decided in 6 months, and then appeal court appear to it in the next 8 months, and then in 10 months it's settled. It can. I think it's one of the fastest in the history of Nigeria. Okay. Some people are agitating that election should be put on hold until. I'm sorry, election. Yes, inauguration should be put on hold until the election tribunal or probably the court decides on who actually is fit. We can't leave the government open like that. We need continuation. We need the government to continue. So for this election, for this judgment on Osun State, I think the judiciary are getting to know their very, rights and duty now, and that they are up to it. And the fact that they are coming up to say, okay, for example, the tribunal for that of the presidential election is already on, and the cases is on. I was surprised when the first hearing was on Monday, and then they postponed another one to Wednesday, just within a span of 2 days. And that is exactly what we want, because justice delay is actually justice denied. So I think we are on the right track of getting true democracy.
Okay, but a lot of people are also of the opinion that it should be, like you said, it should be faster. But some people see it that it should even come earlier than the date of inauguration, so that all this brouhaha and everything would have gone past all that. They would know that whoever is being instated as the president or the governor or whoever won the election is actually the true person who won it. So there won't be back and forth years after or months after. Now, still talking about this particular election, the argument was that there was overvoting at the start. It shifted to certificate forgery. Adeleke was at the center of it all. Now, was the victory of the party in the presidential and state House of Assembly polls in the state an indication that he actually won the election by votes?
Well, the overvoting claim by Oyetola party was they were unable to prove it, and that is also going back to the what we call deficiencies that we have in the electoral process. I know we are going to get there someday, but you see, it's a process. The problem we have with this last election, what actually made it less credible, is the failure of the INEC to upload the results as at when due and according to how the law stated it. And I think that happened only at the gubernatorial election. By the time we have, at the presidential election, by the time we have the second election, it has been approved upon. The government, the INEC, with the use of this electronic means of election, I think should look into this other aspect so that candidates will not have fancy excuses like APC should not be the one to determine whether there's an overvoting somewhere. INEC should be able to identify that in the first place. Numbers of accredited voters, numbers of people that eventually vote. There should be disparities to show everybody. It shouldn't be something that APC will now have to go to court and then they don't have evidence to show for it. So I think the election, by and large, the mind of the people is a reflection of what the people want. I am of the opinion, and I think I'm entitled to it, that the election is not, there's overvoting in a lot of places that were not identified. We still need to put something in the process to make sure this is not reoccurring. Overvoting is not something we should be talking about when there's an electronic device to monitor the same election. You know, gone are those days when we do it by paper, and then we see people can manipulate things. But now that we are using electronic means, this should not be an issue that we will take to court. We should have passed this level. I don't think issue of overvoting of election is a common thing in the advanced country where they use electronic issue. Things, but the judgment of the court is based on the evidence before them. They said that the APC members are not able to prove the BV and that of the registered voter that the numbers of people that voted in those polling booths that were accused by APC are not the people that are supposed to vote. And if they have been able to substantially prove it, maybe the Supreme Court will have judged otherwise. Because when I was looking at the judgment of the tribunal, I was of the opinion that Adeleke may not eventually skate through until the Court of Appeal said it's not proven. And when it's not well proven, case before the court is not about eyewitness or probably it's about the evidence before the court. The evidence on the table.
Now, moving on, looking at the next 3 years, it looks like it's going to be a busy one for the dancing governor, like everyone calls him. Now, what would be your advice for him after all these matters that have been put behind?
Adeleke should stay focused. He has a lot of things to lose if he doesn't perform. I used to say this. Like the Bush and the other people in American countries where a family member comes on board and then you leave and then another family member will come on board. If there's no antecedent, if there are no good name already established, there are some names in Nigeria that can pull anything at any time. And there are some names in Nigeria I don't want to mention that will, by mere mentioning it, people will just ease and walk past. So that's why I'm saying that Adeleke has a lot to lose if he doesn't perform. In fact, if I were Adeleke, I would not contest because I want to preserve the name of the family. But now that he's there, substantially proven by the Supreme Court, he needs to be up and doing. He needs to prove to the Osun people that they have not made any mistake by voting him against Oyetola and the APC ruling party. So Adeleke should make sure that all his promises to people are well kept. He should also do something extra that in the next days, in the next years, when they hear the name Adeleke, especially the way they are holding on to Osun State, they have a lot of things to lose in Osun, especially with the reputation of David Adeleke. So Adeleke does not have any option. He just have to perform. I love what he said the other time, that when he said distractions are no longer available, then you don't want to concentrate on governance. Let him just do that. And then I want to also say that we should not underestimate the contribution of the other party. He said something in the statement, and I think I like it. I don't want him to say it just on the lips. I want him to make it in practice, that the opposition party are now welcomed. They can now come with ideas. Let them move Osun State forward. Osun State should have gone past this level, especially judging by the caliber of people in that state and the size of their towns and all that. There are still rural areas in Osun as we speak that does not have electricity. You won't believe that. I'm not saying it's not in other states, but I think it's more prominent in that area. So government should look into the need of the people and probably give the people what they need, so that by the time people will consider election again, they will say, this person has done well, let me give the person. It has gone past the level when people will say, let me vote for party. People vote for performance. If you don't perform, we vote you out. It's as simple as that.
People are now aware.
They are now aware. No, irrespective of the party you are. Imagine this election. We have people winning from parties that are not known. From I understand one Okadaman won in the north, and then people in the National Assembly, we have about 5 or 6 parties now, combination of everybody, and not like unlike those days when we have only PDP and APC party constituting the National Assembly. So Now, if you perform, people will vote for you. If you fail to perform, we vote you out. It's as simple as that.
All right. It's the time. It's a time of political awareness for the people of Nigeria. They know what they want, and people know what they're doing as well. All right. Let's take some contributions via text or WhatsApp. You can call us on 091 3655 6952 or 08 000 887 887. The number again is 08 000 887 887, or send us a message via WhatsApp. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Ibrahim from Ghana.
All right, Ibrahim. Good to have you on the show. Go ahead.
I commend your guest in the studio.
Thank you.
On the issue of the judgment of Supreme Court yesterday, that affirmed the governor Adeleke as the elected governor of Osun State. Hello.
We were listening to you.
You see, that attests to that there are some credibility in our judiciary.
Of course.
I will just urge them to keep it up. And the other opposition, they should not be distracted. They should play their opposition role. Because democracy without opposition cannot move forward.
All right. Thank you so much for that contribution. 09136556952 887 That is the number to call. Hello. All right, do call us back 08000 this one here on WhatsApp says, good morning. In my opinion, Adeleke's victory in the Supreme Court is a leap forward for our democracy. I love the fact that the president-elect congratulated Mr. Adeleke on his victory. It means our president-elect is ready to work with anybody, irrespective of his political party affiliations. But I think the tribunal process in the country is very slow. We can do better. I look forward to the Presidential Election Tribunal. Gideon from Shao.
That's what I say, that it can be faster. It's one of the best process anyway. This so far, but we can have it faster. And just like the last caller said, that we should commend the judiciary for this judgment, because over the years we've seen that a situation where we have a judgment against the government in power, the party in power, is always very rare. So now people will not say the judiciary are no longer doing their job. A PDP man is winning against an APC man under the government of an APC president. So it's not about it's about what you carry, what the evidence you bring before the court. Yes, it's as simple as
all right. Good morning. Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, madam.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Mr. Davis calling from Shout.
All right, Mr. Davis, go ahead.
Yes, I enjoyed the analysis in the house.
Thank you.
He has said it all. But one thing I want us to understand is that if in the last election that was given to Oyetola, Adeleke has won that election in the first round. I can tell you, in the rerun election, there were the APC bands were produced. That APC was not written on it. If you are not having that band in your hand, you are not allowed to vote. Only the last election. So it is a payback time. I said it to a friend when he was telling me that there was overvoting. I said no. For as long as INEC did not affirm that there is overvoting, it's not a fact that we see there is overvoting. Then on the judiciary aspect, they have done the best. The tribunal, they did not say Adeleke did not win. But what they said is that there was overvoting.
All right.
That was their own argument after that time.
Okay.
But the governor, the dancing governor, it should not be like, it should not be Michael Jackson. You should just focus. You should just focus.
All right.
In fact, in the other days of his administration, he has performed well. So I wish him more grace.
All right. All right, thank you so much, Mr. Davis. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Kola Lashote from Tagomo.
All right, Kola. Go ahead, please.
My own advice for the judiciary, let the judiciary get the empowerment, do more work for the Nigerians. Judiciary is there under the governor to pay the salary. That is one of the problems he's facing. Baba Buhari is trying to that issue. Let the judiciary stand at the judiciary, give you autonomy.
All right.
I advise on the Nigerian government is coming now. Let it time to that thing.
All right.
All my life. Everybody.
All right.
Your name.
All right, thank you so much, Kola Alashoke, for that contribution. This one says, "Good morning, presenter. This is Muideen Adebayo from Kombi, Moro Local Government. I'm very happy with the judgment from the Federal High Court on Osun State because it was clear that Osun people know who they voted for, which is Adeleke. And I think if they are doing it this way, Nigeria will move forward." All right, okay, thank you so much for that. Can we take one? Okay, let me take this message then. Good morning to you in the house. My take on the Supreme Court judgment is that our judiciary is still up and doing, irrespective of the comments, emotion, and hypocrisy of some unsuspecting Nigerians who always try to bring Nigeria judiciary and democracy down whenever APC get judgment in the court. When APC wins in court, democracy will be in danger. But if PDP or another party wins, democracy will be in good shape. Lesson to derive from this judgment is that the court ruled on evidence and not on emotion. We should know that the Supreme Court told the APC that they can't rely on end savers, but because the Beavers and the Form EC8 proved their evidence wrong. All right, nothing is happening to our judiciary. APC lost in Zamfara, Bayelsa State. This is from Abdulwahid Olukoba. And we need to go on a short break. When we come back, we will be taking more reactions on this particular story. And then we move on to the next one that we have for today. It is still the Diamond Breakfast Show. Do not touch that dial.
Ara ríro kò sí mọ́ àwọn ká ti sá lọ àrùnmọ́lẹ́gùn ẹ̀yìn dídùn làkúrẹ́ gbé wọ́n ti lọ wá bí wọ́n sí kára o lè pé bàmù rẹ̀ àtòrà dáadáa.
kòkòkò lára ọ̀tá le. gbéra ńlẹ̀ kò dìde. kára o lè pè ń bà. àtòrà wọ̀ àtòrà pẹ̀sẹ̀ àtòrà dáadáa. kegun ó tò kegun ó nà. kára o yá gágá. ara ń ronú tẹ́lẹ̀ kò ronú mọ́. tẹ̀bá ti fi kára o lè pè ń bà rà. lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ wọnú igun. tó sì ń ṣe àtúntò rẹ̀. òṣùbù yẹ̀kẹ́ fa párọ̀ tàbí fi ẹsẹ̀ dá. fi kára o lè pè ń bà wọ̀. káì ara rẹ̀ ó lè padà yakinlala. action ó jẹ́ àwọ̀ká àròmọ̀lẹ́gun làkúègbé ara ríro tàbí ẹ̀yìn dídùn. kára o lè pè ń bà lọ́kọ̀ gbogbo wọn. agbára pọ̀ kára ó lè pè ń bá. tuyi pharmaceutical industries limited. àwọn tó lórúkọ tó ṣe é gbẹ́kẹ̀lé níbi ká po oògùn òyìnbó ló ṣe é. kára ó lè pè ń bá. ẹ̀rọ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ pín ìrèpàtú òpèrè ta pàtà pọ́npọ́n. kára ó lè pè ń bá. ó kì í síbẹ̀.
kára ó lè pè ń bá mú rẹ̀ àtòrà dáadáa.
The federal government, through the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, announces the availability of COVID-19 and childhood vaccines nationwide. With the disturbing increase in reported cases of COVID-19 infections across Nigeria, protect yourself and loved ones from the harmful virus by getting vaccinated. Visit the nearest public or private health facility and mass vaccination sites today to receive the first, second, or booster doses of COVID-19 vaccines. COVID-19 vaccines are given to persons 18 years and above, including pregnant women and breastfeeding mothers, while childhood vaccines are given to children from birth to 5 years for protection against polio, hepatitis, yellow fever, measles, meningitis, and other vaccine-preventable diseases. All vaccines are free, safe, and effective. For inquiries, visit www.nphcda.gov.ng or call 0700 220 1122.
This message is brought to you by the National Primary Health Development Agency in collaboration with the Nigeria Red Cross Society with support from the Africa CDC SLL program.
From the studios of Diamond 88.7 FM in Loring, this is the Diamond Breakfast Show.
All right, welcome back. You're still tuned in to the Diamond Breakfast Show, reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM in Loring. My name is Bisola Oduwole Suleiman, and I still have my guest with me, Dr. Olaifa Adisheko Sunday. He is an educationist and a public affairs analyst. And this morning, we're talking about the Supreme Court's judgment on Oyetole's victory. The Supreme Court upheld the fact that Ademola Adeleke of the People's Democratic Party won the governorship election in Osun State, and there's been lots of jubilations and lots of advice coming from here and there, back and forth, telling the governor to actually focus on the welfare of the people. But share your thoughts. Let us know your reaction to this particular judgment. Is it timely? Is it fast enough? And then in other electoral processes, in other cases that we have at the tribunal, what should the judiciary do to ensure that we have a seamless and a very, very fast judicial process? 091 3655 6952. That is the number to call, or 0808787. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Yemi Asaju. I'm calling from Ilorin.
All right, good morning, sir. Go ahead.
To me, I would not say the guests in the house have said it all. If he has said it all, we would not have this. But I would say he has done a lot. He has said a lot.
All right.
Well, as far as the Supreme Court judgment is concerned in Osun State, I want to laud it. I want to commend it. Now, I think PDP should learn from what is happening in Osun State.
Okay.
You know, immediately the victory was declared, the president of the country and the president-elect sent messages of congratulations to the winner. If it were to be APC that won, PDP will be running helter-skelter, condemning the Supreme Court, doing all this. See, politics is just a game. It's a game. Is it easy to be a slave? You said you want to serve people and you want to die in the process. If really it is service, you don't need to die because of that. And I wish the olive branch the governor has extended to the other party. I wish it is genuine. I hope it is sincere. PDP alone cannot run that state. Osun State is a complex state. He needs the services of others. So now that election is over, it is now time for governance. Let him bring everybody around. If there is peace, there will be development. Thank you and God bless you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for that. This one here says, good morning, guest on the program and the anchor. This is good judgment. We beg our law not to be delayed. Any issue of elections. Okay, not to delay any election issue. This congrats to Baba Onijo. That's from Matthew Olani. All right, thank you for that. Everybody keeps emphasizing on the fact that he dances, but hey, that's just
he did that yesterday too.
it was expected. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
All right, go ahead, sir. All right.
Yes, I'm from Osun.
Okay.
Adeleke won in 2018. He was denied. This time he won and he was given. But that's a very good Yoruba proverb, which says when a guy is developing something on a test, I don't want to mention it.
Better.
Rejoicing. Forgetting that is what we send out of our father's house. God is going to get married. This is a pointer to what will happen at presidential election tribunal.
All right.
Because what they rely on is fevers. So it's very difficult for the LP and PDP to counter this judgment at the Supreme Court.
All right.
So they should prepare for this. God bless you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. All right, let's see if we can take one more. The phone line is buzzing, and let's see if we can take one more call before we move on to the next story for the day. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Dr. Zil from Cherub School.
All right, good to have you on the show, Dr. Zil.
Yeah, you see, Osun judgment is expected. It's not just new to me. And this shows that our judiciary, if they want to do the right thing, they will do it. But, politicians have their way sometimes. Because the 2018, the judiciary in Osun didn't do well. Let's not say that the APC didn't win in 2018.
But Dr. Zil, hold on. But you know that the court judged based on the evidences that were placed before them. I hope you know that.
Well, let me, this is Nigeria.
And the same thing happened in this case.
Let's just speak. I don't want to speak on that. I know how we do our whatever. But let me just say that thank God, God has intervened and they have done the right thing this time around.
All right.
But now, I want them to do the right thing also when it comes to the presidential whatever, because that is where the problem really is. That is where everybody's eyes, they want to do it to have it their way, but they should do it for the law and for the justice so that we can also applaud them. We are not talking of any political party with anybody's interest. No. What we care about is justice, and the right thing should be done, not to make anybody happy. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Zil, for that. But I would say that if we all agree that justice was actually served in this particular case, so fingers crossed, let's wait and hope and believe that justice would also be served in the other cases placed before the tribunals as well. Now, let's quickly move on to the second story. You can still send in your reactions and contributions via text or WhatsApp 09136556864. We're in the fifth month of the year. I don't want to go back. This is fifth. This is May. And lots of issues look to be unforgettable highlights that many believe are key to the transition we're about to witness on May 29th. President Muhammadu Buhari in the new year continues to be the focus. Attention was on the election, but before that we had the Naira redesign. Then from the economic standpoint, it generated political conclusions and some other sort of politicking. The election came. The post-election matters are just kick-starting. The talks on subsidy looks like the next big thing. It looked like, because right now it has been suspended. The Sudan war crime came in as well. And we got a surprising figure of Nigerians in the diaspora. When Nigerians travel out of the country, they do not only target the most common countries on our lips. It was a surprise that we had lots of people in Sudan, 5,000 or more of Nigerians in Sudan. And now let's talk about the biggest highlight. So this and many more things we'll be talking about right now on the second segment of the program. And now let's quickly talk about the biggest highlight of the year. That is the Naira redesign. It was a commendable policy. But what do you think went wrong along the line? Why did we have the issues that we had surrounding that Naira redesign?
Well, I don't know why President Muhammad Buhari is always bringing this policy as if it's the only economic policy to correct the economy. But you recall that the first time when he was there as the military head of state, he brought something like this. The problem with this time is timing. The time limit given to the money to be out of circulation and then a replacement of the new note is something not to write home about. I guess he wanted to use that during the election to prevent money voting and all that. But you see, you don't use just one policy to affect just a point out of the economy. If the policy is going to take care of all other loopholes, then it should be given time. They should give people time so that the money in circulation will be out and then the other ones will replace the existing one. In fact, in UK, as I speak, they still change the currency and they're still spending the two currency until one will get out of circulation. The duty of the CBN is to inject new currency and then with all the old ones so that it won't go out again. But you go to bank and bank are still giving you the same old note. The ATM are not dispensing new naira, and then you want transaction to happen. We cannot just kickstart electronic ways of payment like that in Nigeria. I can't remember the last time I hold cash in my hand. I practically buy anything through my card and all that. But it's not everybody that is that literate or is that exposed to electronic payments. And we should first take care of that first, especially with the use of all these policies that banks are bringing out in terms of payments. We can do that when everybody is assured that we have the opportunity to buy electronically. Then the issue of no currency, this thing. Okay, the amount of money in the country in the circulation is about some billions of naira. You want to now use a lesser amount to replace the bigger amount. It won't work. It won't work. So the CBN were not doing out money. Banks were not unable to give people money, and then transactions were people suffered during this time. In fact, a lot of people had to go through a lot of things just within this limited time because there was no cash to do their business. And thank God that the government are able to reverse the issue by saying, okay, well, let's step it down and give it an extension to December. I just want them to also know that by that December, some people will still find it difficult to go into the new currency. But I still see more of old currency in circulation now than the new one.
Exactly.
And then how do you do that? By now, we should have less of that old one because the old one should not be going out again. New one should be coming in, but the old one is still the one the bank is returning. Go to the bank today, my sister, and you still see that if you ask for 100,000, they will still give you more of old notes. So, and that shouldn't be. The essence of extension is for the old note, the time for the old note to be withdrawn from circulation, so that it will be replaced with the new note. And I think the government should work on this. Otherwise, the same problem we see happen.
Exactly, and a lot of people are already envisaging that problem for December. By December 31st, we'll still go through the struggles we went through in January, February.
I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered because
what should CBN do to ensure that we have a seamless process?
I'm not bothered at that time because I'm sorry to say this: the CBN governor may not be there that time, except if the law is saying no, that it should not be replaced within that time frame, because we have a new government now. I think Tinubu should know what to do. I can't be the president and I'll keep on using one policy to survive. Anyway, there's always an aftermath of every policy. But it shouldn't go this hard, this deep. February, March was hell for Nigeria.
A lot of people have not gotten over it.
Now. There are some businesses that have crashed. There are a lot of people that cannot stand up now to their economic power because that money drought really affected them. I believe that by the time the new government will come on board, because Tinubu was one of those people agitating that time, that Eko Pamo, and all that. And I think that statement means that he is not in full support of that policy, or probably would have done it in a different way or with a different process. So I want to believe that by the time we have a changeover, the government and the CBN will sit down again and look into this. How do we easily do this? Is not the first time we're having a change of money, and I think I've witnessed about twice introduction of new note and all that, and it wasn't this pronouncing hardship on people. We had it smoothly, so they should look into it again and reconsider what is not making it work. Then they should do the needful.
All right, thank you, Dr. Olaifa. Let's go. We need to pay bills. It is very important. Let's go on the short time out. We will be right back.
Colors, they add meaning to our lives. From birth and naming of a child.
May your life be rich and potent as the red palm oil.
Colors tell of the feelings in our hearts. Through rainbow-like roses or even bubbly emojis. Colors speak of our distinctive ancestry through the shade of our skin. Colors are in the bright garbs we wear to impress, or the deluxe coat we give our buildings.
Wow, this is so beautiful.
And with our proudly Nigerian deluxe paints now available in any color, express your world however you want it. Visit a Deluxe Color Center to get any color instantly.
Dulux, let's color.
The major talking point in Nigeria.
All right, it's about 13 minutes before checkout time. We still have a couple of issues to quickly run through this morning and then get your reactions to them as well. Dr. Laifa, let's moving on from the Naira design. Let's go on to the election. Did everybody, that is everybody meaning the government, INEC, parties, voters, did they play their role well in the elections? And then what lessons can we take away from this for posterity's sake?
If you are referring to this last election,
yes,
then I would say I want to believe Nigerians are already they are doing well now in terms of election. If you see the numbers of people that are coming up for the vote, especially the presidential election, I'm really impressed that the election is not was not predictable, and like we usually have this issue of this governor will win this. Tinubu lost in Osun, he lost in Lagos, Katsina, he didn't win in Katsina. And he didn't win in some others, even in Lagos, where his domicile. So you see that the election is not predictable. So I give the kudos to Nigerians for their awareness and their more participation in politics. Then for the INEC, I think INEC still has a lot of things to do, and also the security agency, because there are so many areas where evils were perpetrated, especially judging by the videos that we saw on the social media, and police were there present, and security and civil defense officers were there. With all due respect to them, I'm not saying there are not areas where they have actually stand up to the attacks, but I'm saying that there are so many areas where they should have had the control. There was a video of a guy saying nobody should vote here if you are not APC, and he was saying that right there with the police officer standing right there by his side. I don't want to believe it's somebody who is covered by the law or probably cannot be exposed to justice. He should have been apprehended and probably ask some questions of why is he distorting the elections like that. So in the aspect of security, I think they still have a lot to do. The INEC too have to be up and doing, especially in keeping to the rules of the game. If we say immediately after the election, you should capture this information and get it on the server, then it should be done. The issue of this aftermath of this election wouldn't have been here if they have done the needful. And I want to believe, like I said, I told somebody, I said, a system may not just work at the instance. I remember the other time when we were about to change the JAMB examination from paper exam to electronic. I was one of those people that partook in the first trial test. And on the trial test day, everything went well. The server, the network was okay, everything went well. Until on the main exam, that I had to struggle to get the server to transfer a lot of information to the headquarters and then giving me the signal. So I had to report that and all that. If it were to be election, they would say it was deliberate and probably want to do it at the expense of one party or probably in favor of another party. So electronic are not human beings, they can fail. But you see, getting to test this thing and make sure we perfect all this area are those areas that we still need to look into in the next election. Okay. I want to believe 2027 election is going to be a better one than that of the last one we had.
All right, thank you, Dr. Life. And moving on from there, with an unstable economy right now, the decision to suspend the removal of fuel subsidy is an ease. Or what do you think? Because some people were of the opinion that it should not be removed. Some felt, oh, this is the right time to remove it. But now that it has been suspended, what do you think? Is it going to ease the tension and the issues that people are currently facing right now?
Another thing that I said about Buhari's administration, with all due respect to them, is that why always in hurry to push on policy? They're always in hurry to say this policy must work. And I want to say it's a good thing that they are dropping this removal of a team for at least for the next president to look into. Tinubu has said it clearly as one of his policies that one is coming on board, is going to remove this subsidy.
All right.
But me, I'm just bothered that when this subsidy is removed finally, what will be the gain of the remover, especially on the lives of a common man in Nigeria, the masses. If you remove it, definitely there will be an increase in prices of everything. Because I can't remember, one would be surprised when a government that was actually organizing protests against a government in power in just 8 years ago, about 97 naira price, and has taken the price from that 97 during their own time in 8 years to 240, 200 and I bought it 220 naira yesterday, and the subsidy is still there. And this is the same government that was saying there was no subsidy the other time, that the subsidy is a fluke, is just a scam and all that. Now, if there is subsidy, let's first find out this subsidy is it being paid truly? How much is being paid? For what reason? Because it's possible that they are using it as a means of siphoning the public fund. If we now establish the true nature of the subsidy and how much it is, then the government may take their decision to either remove it or sustain it. If it's being removed, then what are those things that the government will now do to the masses or probably to the economy that will now lessen the burden of people as a result of the removal? Then if it's to be sustained, then if they are leaving it, how do we now manage the sustenance of this subsidy? These are the questions that are before the table of the Tinubu administration. But it's good that Buhari is suspending it, because running into it now will be starting something they will not be unable to finish because of the limited time they have.
All right. And this last one concerns you as an educator, as an educationist. The war in Sudan made us realize so many things. We have seen the numbers of Nigerians in this country, and it's a slap to us as a giant of Africa that our scholars would go to these countries people do not expect to get educated. We've had them go to other developed countries, and people say, oh, because they have facilities and they have the likes. But they are going to countries in Africa as well to study. No school in Sudan is ranked among the top 100 schools in Africa, and yet Nigerians go there. What lessons can we take from here? In just a minute or so.
Well, let me quickly say this, that people have reasons for going to other countries. A lot of people used to attach it to, studying abroad. One of those ways by which you can stay in UK or US is when you have the opportunity of saying you want to go to school. So people also want to go to one country in Africa. From that country in Africa, having stayed there, they will now apply for other countries. So they have their various reasons. It's not just about education. But not to think of it also, why do you want to stay in Nigeria when you enroll for 4 years course, you ended up spending 6 years and a half before you finish it? Don't you know, the last ASU strike lasted for more than 8 months. So what do you expect that the student will do? If I have the resources to take my children out of this place so that they can have quick and faster education, quality one that will not be truncated by one ASU and government logout, why shouldn't I do that? And they will still be exposed to a lot of facilities. You can't tell me that Sudan is in any way different with Nigeria in terms of facility, electricity supply, good roads and all that. We are still same African country, this same leadership, the same thing. But when the education is not stopping, why not? I would prefer to go there and stay there. I'm not surprised that a lot of Nigerians are there. Some of them are there for survival, not for education. They are just in education as something to cover up so that they can get out of this country and probably get away from all the troubles and things that we expect our government to do that they are not doing.
All right, let's take some reactions before we wrap up on the program. You can call us in 08 Please turn down the volume of your radio. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, ma. Good morning.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, this is General calling from Ilorin.
All right, General. It's good to have you. Go ahead in a few seconds, sir.
Yes, few seconds. I know the time is up. Please, I want to commend the analysts here and commend you people for this exciting program. I want to quickly comment on the issue, the designing of the Naira note.
All right.
Please answer. If you look at what is happening now, if you go to POS point, you want to go and withdraw money. The money that they are giving people, man, are very, very dirty. Even if you go to the bank, very dirty. The old note that the so-called old note that they said they released, very dirty. There's nothing to write home about it. What are they doing about? What is the CBN governor doing about it? And the worst thing of all, the design Naira note that they said they design, you cannot even get it again at all. It's no longer in circulation. And the one that they are releasing to customers, very dirty, nothing to write home about, that they're supposed to even burn and do away with. This is not really, it's uncalled for in an advanced country like this.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. I could see that he's really bitter about the whole thing. And seriously, because it's something that people suffered for a couple of months, and we still do not expect this to be happening.
Everything is now on hold. CBN is just acting as if the government has suspended the change of the currency. Probably by December, the new currency will now be out of the currency for the old one to stay. Because I don't see any reason why they still allow the old currency to go out from the bank.
All right, let's take one or two more calls before we go. 09136556952, 0800887 Hello, good morning. All right, this one says, good morning to you again. I will still repeat it. The court never judges on emotion of anybody at the corner of his room. They judge based on the law. All right, let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
From Cherosco.
All right, in a few seconds, doctor.
Yeah, you see, this government has failed us in everything. And that's why I always say what has happened now on what we just talked about, the Naira policy, whatever, which of them have succeeded. You see that they just want to pass the remaining problem to their fellow partyman that is coming. The truth is, we should get to the CBN man, if he maintain it when this new president comes, I want to tell you, it means we are still ready for failure. Because it has failed us, the bank of borrower, every other thing. We should get this right.
All right.
Know what is in there in CBN. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Zeal. We need to go now. I wish we could take more reactions on the program today, but it was really, really insightful. Thank you so much, Dr. Olaifa, for coming in the studio this morning. We really appreciate you. And thank you to everyone who contributed, those who tried to call in and couldn't get through or sent messages and we could not take all of them. We really do apologize. We appreciate the fact that you're always there listening to us and contributing your quota as Nigerians. My name is Bisola Oduwole Suleiman. Do ensure you have a lovely rest of the day. Join us tomorrow, same time, 9 a.m.
The best music on the best station.
88.7.
Diamond FM.
Let's go. This is your radio, your station. The radio station that plays you nothing but the best music.
All you need is Diamond 88.7
You don't need no other body.
Thought I told ya.
You don't need no other